Not only is Trump extremely bullish on crypto, but this next move could very well make XRP go parabolic in 2026, as a December new all-time high is likely off the table. And that's because through Congress, he is pushing a plan to phase in the acquisition of 1 million Bitcoin, or roughly 5% of the total Bitcoin supply over the next 5 years, which is really not that long, considering that would be nearly another 670,000 Bitcoin that the United States would accumulate and sit on forever, which would create such great institutional support and drive further demand internationally among nation states and central banks, that we would also see a rotation of capital into other major cryptocurrencies. Now, this time around, we did not see an altcoin season to the degree that we expected, like we did in 2020 and in 2021. Matter of fact, the majority of the money was consolidated into the biggest and most powerful cryptos and crypto companies like Ripple and XRP, which is currently sitting at a $121 billion market cap, which could very well go up to at least $1 trillion in the next 5 to 10 years. And that is being very generous and conservative, considering the government is now going to support crypto through legislation and buying. And what's even more exciting is that one of the team members directly from Solana just announced that Solana will be partnering with XRP by creating a bridge with deep liquidity on day one, which essentially creates more demand and more access for XRP across all crypto ecosystems. Currently, Ethereum is sitting on the most TVL, which is total value locked, but the second largest layer 1 blockchain in terms of total use is Solana, which essentially has more active addresses than virtually any other chain in the United States and generates more in fees per 24-hour periods than even Ethereum, almost doubling it. Then we have Ripple announcing that their deal with Rail, a $200 million acquisition, has officially been closed. And now they are going to be integrating blockchain infrastructure and technology into their ecosystem to service their current clients. All while Donald Trump has officially announced he is leaning towards WSH or Hasset to lead the Fed once Jerome Powell is out in May of 2026. So we're going to be covering all of this. Now let's dive into the video. And before we do, a quick shout out for our video sponsor, I Trust Capital. If you're looking to buy or sell crypto in a tax-advantaged account like an IRA or a Roth IRA, or you even want to roll over a 401k into any one of these accounts and invest in major cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, or even some other major up-and-comers like Hyperlid, Sui, Worldy, infrastructure tokens, AI tokens, real-world asset tokens, and the list goes on. They're always adding to the platform. Then go ahead and check out that link in our description below. The fees are extremely low, and this is completely self-managed, so you're in charge of your own portfolio and your future. And as always, my friend, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome to the Bull Runners channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul. You can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDiPaliedEFI. In this very short video, we have Congressman Nick Begich. I might have totally butchered that name, but this gentleman is introducing the Bitcoin Act. And this move, I'm not kidding, can truly set the global stage for crypto adoption in the future. And the government not only buying and supporting and holding Bitcoin essentially forever, will create an institutional floor where crypto is legitimized. A company like Ripple, which is not only legitimate already, will continue to see growth and greater demand as money rotates into all of the other major cryptos that are actually building legitimate companies with real-world use cases. Let's have a listen to what he says. Bitcoin Act establishes the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, a federal initiative to ensure that the United States holds a meaningful position in the most important decentralized financial network on Earth. With an eye to fiscal responsibility and innovation, the legislation outlines a plan to phase in the acquisition of up to 1 million Bitcoin, or roughly 5% of its total final supply over 5 years. Importantly, this will be done without raising taxes or increasing government debt. The Bitcoin Act is designed to be budget neutral, relying on Federal Reserve remittances, which exceeded $76 billion in 2023. Gold certificate revaluations, unlocking additional capital without new spending, and updates to the Exchange Stabilization Fund. These mechanisms allow us to build a strategic reserve without burdening taxpayers, while also potentially offsetting long-term national debt. In other words, Congress and this administration are really confident that Bitcoin and crypto are likely going to go up so much in value against fiat currencies and the dollar that it would be enough to offset or even pay off our entire national debt. Now, many people have had theories or conjecture around the fact that XRP would be used to pay off the national debt. But whatever the case might be, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP, crypto in general is likely going to go up, and a rising tide raises all ships. So if Bitcoin starts to do really well from a governmental level, then at a financial level and an institutional level, all of the major cryptos will also do well. And XRP is set to take advantage of this large wave because of all the utility that the team over at Ripple is building into the XRPL with those acquisitions. One of those being the recent announcement of Ripple officially closing its $200 million acquisition of a stablecoin platform called Rail. Now, early in the year, Ripple launched their very own stablecoin, the RLUSD stablecoin, which is completely compliant, backed one-for-one by US dollars or cash equivalents. And acquiring companies like Rail sets them leagues ahead of all of the competition by compliantly connecting the best of fiat and digital assets so that businesses can move money faster, save costs, and build to grow. In other words, this sounds very similar to blockchain, which is likely the fact why they acquired Rail, because they can easily integrate the XRPPL into this ecosystem with virtual accounts, automated back-office capabilities, and intelligent payout routing. Rail simplifies everything from corporate collections to global treasury flows. So customers wouldn't even have to hold stable coins or maintain specialized crypto bank accounts. The addition of Rail allows businesses to make pay-ins and payouts across key corridors entirely through Ripple's unified platform. In other words, onboarding new clients and maintaining clients is extremely simple, and it doesn't require a huge learning curve or for companies to get behind crypto. Instead, they'll just be using crypto in the way they're already using their current infrastructure, which truly makes things seamless and more easy for adoption. Now, speaking of adoption, it will continue to grow across all crypto ecosystems and platforms. Many of these have been hedged into their own little worlds. You have users that only use Solana or Sui or Ethereum or the XRPPL. But what if they were all combined? And what if you could buy XRP on the Solana platform? Well, one of the major or core team members over at Solana officially announced that he had a chance to meet many of the devs, core community members, and even the team at Ripple himself. And that through this, they were not only impressed, but decided to announce that they are building a bridge to Solana with deep day one liquidity, which means they're going to pour a lot of money into acquiring XRP, and then creating liquidity for the community to use XRP by XRP inside of the Solana ecosystem. And when you do that, you will actually have the underlying XRP asset, which will exist on the XRPPL. It's just going to be locked up when you acquire it on Solana. So the more people use XRP on Solana, the greater the demand on the XRPPL, which will eventually affect the price of XRP to the upside. And so it's actually quite exciting because although XRP and the XRPL have a lot of institutional applications and even demand, you have something like Solana, which has a lot of retail users and has a lot of DeFi activity, arguably more than most, if not all, ecosystems in the United States, which allows for you to do all sorts of really cool and unique things with XRP and Solana, like earn yield, buy stocks, real-world assets, yield-bearing tokens, and prediction markets using XRP. And you can even explore the vast product ecosystem on Solana without routing through exchanges. So now you can just do it directly on Solana. And yes, this will lock up any supply of XRP on the XRPPL, which could create a liquidity or a supply crunch. And so, needless to say, I can see a path forward where XRP continues to grow in terms of demand, legislative support, institutional support, and now even retail support through the Solana ecosystem. All of that said, this should be a great driver of some key supports, even in a bear market that can get pretty nasty, which will likely lead us to not only bottom out, but arguably start a new trend to the upside sometime in 2026. I personally believe it's going to come a little after the summer of 2026, because we are still in a downtrend and not much has changed since my last couple of videos and analysis. But one thing that is quite exciting is that in May, we are going to get a new chairman of the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell's tenure is officially up, and Jerome Powell has been more hawkish than he has been dovish. He's consistently kept interest rates high, which has played a role in constricting financial and money markets. And now Trump is essentially leaning towards Wirsh or Hassett to lead the Fed. And by the way, a new Federal Reserve chairman, especially if they are dovish, is likely going to be just enough of a catalyst for a new bull market to start. So it's likely Trump is simply trying to throw reporters and the media off his scent. But when I actually analyze the policies of both of these candidates, it's almost obvious who's going to get the job. Considering Kevin Wirsh doesn't really sound like anything Trump has been wanting in terms of interest rate. Wirsh is generally viewed as hawkish, favoring tighter policy to control inflation. And in terms of crypto, he's not particularly pro-crypto. He's been skeptical of private cryptocurrencies, calling them software that pretends to be money. Whereas Kevin Hassett, which is far more likely the actual candidate, and I would argue I'd bet money on that. In terms of interest rates, Hassett is clearly dovish, favoring lower interest rates to stimulate growth, which is everything Trump wants and has been calling for from Jerome Powell. But Jerome Powell has been playing hardball, and he has argued for faster and deeper rate cuts. And in terms of crypto, here is the big one. Hassett is pro-crypto. He's been involved in the Trump administration working groups on digital assets, advocating for clearer regulations, stablecoin frameworks, bank access to crypto businesses, and even ideas like the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. He has advised Coinbase holding significant coin stock and is seen as supportive of institutional adoption and innovation in digital assets. These two couldn't be further apart, which is why I believe Kevin Hassett is going to get the job. And if so, this is going to be mega bullish for the entire crypto market, which could truly lead XRP into a parabolic run for new all-time highs in 2026. And by the way, if you are looking to trade or invest in crypto using other people's money by risking only a fraction of your own working capital, then you're going to want to check this out. What if you could trade with a $100,000 without ever risking any of your own capital? Well, I'm doing it right now. Trading a $100K funded account with zero of my own money on the line. I just paid a one-time evaluation fee to take a trading test. That's it. Because everyone's been asking us, how do I get crypto loans? Or how do you leverage trade without risking any of your own capital? Well, that's exactly why we're leveraging Breakout, which is a crypto prop trading firm recently acquired by Kraken. With over 10 million clients, 2.5 million funded accounts, and over $1.5 billion in revenue in 2024 alone, they will fund you up to $200,000 after passing one simple trading test. And you get to keep up to 90% of the profit, and you can withdraw in USD 247 after passing the trading test through the link in the description of this video. Now here's the problem that I've seen most people face. Let's say you're trading with $10,000 of your own money. That's your rent. That's your groceries. That's an emergency fund. And one bad trade or black swan event, and poof, your account is completely blown. Rent's late, savings is wiped, and your family is stressed out. So you're not trading to win. Trading your own money is trading for survival. Whereas trading with 100K of risk-free capital is freedom. In fact, if you only have $10,000, you should never be trading with all of that. Instead, if you took just 10%, which is $1,000, and you buy the 100K or the 200K breakout test, and you pass the test, well, you're going to be trading with six figures without depositing or risking any of your own money. This is what I'm doing right now. And if you fail the test, you only lose $1,000 instead of your $10,000, because you shouldn't even be trading with $10,000 of your own money in the first place if you can't pass a simple $1,000 trading test. And the best part is there's no limit on retries. So that $1,000 can give you 10 shots at a $100,000 account if you fail the first few. That's 10 times better risk management. And that's how you prove you actually know what you're doing. And this is the smartest strategy that the best traders in the world use. That's OPM. Other people's money. You pass the test, you trade Kraken's money, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And you can withdraw USDC on demand to 47. So I paid, I passed, and now I'm trading 100K, and it only cost me $1,000 rather than risking $100,000 of my own money. And now it's your turn. So do not buy the small test. You're here to scale your portfolio fast. So here's exactly what you need to do right now. I left a link in the description of this video, and when you click it and select the classic one-step 100K or 200K account test, you simply click Start Trading, and then you enter in the affiliate code 777 on your checkout to get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account. And make sure to check the add-on box for the 90% profit split. It's only $100 extra. It pays for itself in your first payout. And if you skip it, you're leaving 10% on the table forever, so it's well worth it. Then you simply pay for the test. You pass it, you have an unlimited time frame, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And again, you can withdraw in USDC anytime that you want after you pass the test. That's it. Now, we do earn a small commission when you use our code 777, but it supports value-based videos like this, and it'll help you get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account test. So click the link in the description right now, take the test, and let's get you funded. And that is it for the video, folks. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. And also check out any one of the links in our description or bio below. Those are confirmed links, especially in the pinned comment if you're going to be sifting through those comments, because there's a lot of people that just constantly have bots trying to scam in there, and we do our best to clean it up. But at the end of the day, it's virtually impossible to stay on top of all the time. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.